Hi there, I'm Jack Van Ryn, Mayor of the Town of Coaldale. I will be giving you a council brief from our regular council meeting that was held March 13th, 2023. And the first item that came up was regarding Animal Wellness Committee, and we had our Manager of Community Policing, Mark Anderson, present. And this was to obtain council approval for the formation of the Coaldale Animal Wellness Committee, which will include community members in the committee, and also with the purpose of forming a community-driven society. So basically what Mark Anderson was presenting on is that the town of Coaldale, with a population nearing 9,000, we have nothing in place right now regarding care for stray dogs that our Coaldale bylaw either finds and picks up on their own, or somebody reports a stray animal and the bylaw goes and picks it up. So as part of that process of trying to get a pet and animal wellness society set up, I reached out to the town of Taber, and I went on a tour along with some of our committee members of their facility, and I went back a second time, looked at it again, and it would be nice if we could mirror their operation and do the exact same thing in Coaldale, because they have a great partnership with the MD of Taber. So they have a facility where the town of Taber and the MD of Taber each have their own animal stalls. So a stray dog comes in, they take it to this facility, and it gets caring from a vet if it need be, and then they have volunteers that look after the animal until it can be reunited with its owner. So Coaldale is just in the very, very beginning stages. So as part of the process of setting this up, when I reached out to the town of Taber, they provided me all the documentation regarding their terms of reference, their society information, their bylaws, and I'm a firm believer in not having to reinvent the wheel, so they were gracious enough to provide us all that information, along with the MD at Taber that partnered in their facility. And in order for us to use that material to start working on creating our own, because of FOIP implications, council had to pass a motion to form the committee officially, and that was completed by way of motion that read that council approved the Animal Wellness Committee as a official Town of Coaldale Council committee. We also appointed Councillor Lisa Reese on the committee, and myself as mayor, I'll help out where I can as well. So next steps now are to go through Taber's paperwork, and we can kind of mirror that for the town of Coaldale, and then we can tweak it as need be, and then it'll come back to council for formal approval, and then we can start working towards forming our own. Currently, when a stray dog is picked up by bylaw, whether they find it themselves or somebody reports the animal, we bring it to the Coaldale Pet Clinic. They check it out to see what the health of the animal is like. And if the animal is in good health, then they will take it back to the bylaw office or the fire hall, and then they will foster it out until we can find the owner. So that's the current practice right now, and now we're hoping where we can actually, like if it's going to be long-term, if we don't have a foster family to take the dog in, then we have to look at bringing it to a shelter that can look after it. And we've been using the one in Raymond for an example. So we want to kind of do that all in-house, with the ultimate goal is of having our own facility in the future at some time. So that motion was passed. Then we had a public hearing regarding the intermunicipal development plan bylaw 861-P-01-23, and we had our Director of Growth and Investment, Cameron Mills, present on that. And the purpose of the report was to present council regarding that bylaw, being the Lethbridge County and the Town of Coaldale joint IDP plan. And as per the Municipal Government Act, it requires that 2 or more councils of municipalities that have common boundaries that are not members of a growth region must by passing a bylaw to adopt the IDP plan. The town and county currently have an IDP plan in place that was originally approved in 2010. In 2021, it was determined that the IDP needed to be reviewed and substantially updated to bring the IDP into compliance with the provincial regulations. And that was all based on the annexation that the town of Coaldale completed in 2018. So with the annexation, what we did is, well, we took in approximately 1,400 acres around the boundaries of Coaldale to allow for future growth. And the process started in March of 2022 regarding the IDP, and Lethbridge County and the town of Coaldale committee met 4 times to review the plan with county and town administration. And myself, Councillor Jason Avery, and Deputy Mayor Jason Beekman were part of that group. And the amendment provides a limit of what an expansion could be in terms of the number of whatever is going to be happening on that fringe area. So a good example that I like to use is that where the boundary of the town of Coaldale meets the boundary of the Lethbridge County, we call that area, it's all part of the IDP plan. And our Director of Growth and Investment likes to use this term, if somebody was building a nuclear power plant either in the county or the town of Coaldale, would be nice if we would let our neighbor what was going on, let them know. So the IDP plan puts that into place as per the Municipal Government Act, that when there's any development on the fringe areas of either the county or the town of Coaldale, that the two organizations talk to one another before any approvals are given. So we gave second and third reading for that at our meeting, so that bylaw will now come into play. Lethbridge County did theirs at the beginning of March, so that's all completed now. The next agenda item under 7.2 was the land use bylaw amendment regarding bylaw 863-P-02-23, and council approved first reading. And that was to do with a bylaw proposing to redesignate the lands legally described as lots 13, 14, and 15, block 12, plan 6476AA, from residential R-1A to direct control. And that encompasses the area in behind the new Civic Square building. And as part of that, we also included lots 18, 19, and 20. And that's all the spaces between the Civic Square, the library, and then over to 19th Street where Coaldale Foods is. And we put that all under direct control. So basically all that means is that any development that's going back there, council has to approve every step of it. And so we passed first reading on that, and we will be holding a public hearing on March 27th at 5:05 p.m. To discuss the matter more. And then if everything goes well, we'll pass second and third reading. And that's an opportunity where the general public can come and ask questions and speak in favor or against the proposed amendment to the bylaw. Then we had our Director of Growth and Investment, Cameron Mills, speak again regarding the West Area Structure Plan Rezoning Bylaw 865-P-02-23. And the report was to present council with the bylaw I just mentioned to change the area from urban reserve to residential R-1A, also residential small lots R-1B, multi-unit R2, residential multi-unit R-2L, and institutional recreational IR. And this was to facilitate the subdivision and development of the area in compliance with the West Coaldale Area Structure Plan Amendment. So this is the area in behind Coaldale Home Hardware. And and north of Land O'Lakes is approximately 30 acres. The subject lands are currently designed urban reserve. So we have a developer there that wants to develop that area. So we passed first reading on the area structure plan rezoning bylaw, and we're going to be having a public hearing on that as well on March 27th, and that will be taking place at 5:15 p.m. So the affected residents in the area were all notified. We had an open house already with the developer. The developer actually did the open house himself, and myself and members of administration were there to answer questions regarding the proposed area structure plan. So the next step now is the public hearing. And again, residents are invited, they're encouraged to come and speak in favor or against the area structure plan. Then we had a lengthy discussion under agenda item 7.5 regarding the offsite levy bylaw 866-P-03-23 regarding first reading. And when it comes to off-site levies, simply put, off-site levies, I should say, are charges paid by developers to provide funding support to long-term infrastructure projects which accommodate the town's growth. The idea is that new development pays some or all of the cost of growth rather than having those costs fall onto the existing tax base. So, for example, new development triggering the need to spend $1 million upgrading a nearby intersection or the town wastewater lagoon would contribute some value towards those infrastructure costs, rather than having those costs borne by the existing residents who would not require the upgrades if it weren't for the growth that is occurring. So in other words, with this development I talked about previously, all the infrastructure that needs to be put in for that, we have to put some money away so that we can do upgrades as needed and upkeep. So basically it boils down to growth pays for growth. So municipalities levy a charge against new development to assist in funding these financial obligations. So council passed first reading on that. And some examples for that is if there's a large development going in, the offsite levies under the Municipal Government Act allow the levies to go towards new or expanded community recreation facilities, new or expanded fire hall facilities, new or expanded facilities that house our bylaw group, and or if we need more libraries. And currently the town's levy rate is $85,500, and that's been since 2009. And based on comparables from surrounding communities, the city of Lethbridge, for their 2023, their rate is $290,000, and that's per hectare. And I'm old school, so I'm an acres kind of guy. So for 1 hectare, that's approximately 2.47 acres. So what Coaldale is proposing to do is to raise our offsite levies to $178,487 per net hectare. And again, we passed first reading on that. And I'm going to have this information in the agenda package that'll be part of the comment section, so you'll be able to review the documentation yourself. There's a lot of information here. And so again, we passed first bylaw and or first reading of the bylaw, and we also had public engagement with some of the developers in this local area, and they gave us their opinion and their thought process on what the town was planning. And as part of that, before we do the final second and third reading, and which would bring this offsite levy bylaw into play, we are going to be holding a public hearing to invite the general public to learn more about it and give us their opinion as well. Then we had, again, Cameron Mills, Director of Growth and Investment, give us an update on the growth and investment for the town of Coaldale for the first quarter of, basically that was regarding our development summary. And for 2022, in all of 22, the total value of all development permits were $19,726,403. And that was for all the permits taken out, and that includes new homes, residential additions, mobile homes added, multifamily, industrial values, commercial, institutional, and urban reserve. So in 2022, we had 17 new housing starts, 19 industrial, 2 commercial, 7 institutional, and 1 urban reserve. And then Cameron Mills gave us comparables to other municipalities. And at the end of the day, after the presentation, again, I'll have the information in the comment section. Coaldale is in a very, very good position when it comes to development. And then that was the end of the public portion of the meeting. We also went through some correspondence from Municipal Affairs regarding the recent budget that was released, and some information items from the library, SEWA, and we had a pre-audit letter from Avil. They do our audit, so they had a letter of engagement that was shared with council. So in closing, again, I'll have the agenda package in the comment section. Lots of information. I could talk for another 20 minutes, or if not more, if I was going to talk about every item. So make sure you check that out. And then if you have any questions at the end of this video, I'll have my contact information, my phone number, my email address. I strongly encourage you to reach out to me if you have any questions, concerns. Same goes for other members of council. We are all available anytime. You see us on the street, stop us, have a discussion. And I look forward to that. It's important that we communicate with our residents. So also, if you want to help me at the end of this video, make sure that you share it, like it, because it takes a little bit of work to put this together, comment. And other than that, I hope to see you on the street, and otherwise have a great week, and look forward to talking to you again soon. Take care. Bye.